Hey everybody, it's Michael with Elite CDL here. Today we're going to teach you how to float. Our lead instructor is going to be going over the basics of driving a manual. Today we're going to be teaching you in the 10-speed. Again, as I mentioned, we're going to be teaching you the floating method, which is the way we teach here, and that's the way that is legal here with the state of Kansas. And anyway, stay tuned. We're going to teach you. The first thing you need to understand, there's a couple different factors that work into this. This is a synchronized transmission. What does that mean? That means that all of your driving factors, the transmission, the acceleration of the vehicle, all that, the clutch, all that is synchronized, right? So, for instance, if you're going 50 miles an hour, you won't be able to go into first gear because your gear ratios are spinning too fast for that clutch to interlock those gears for the first gear. So the synchronized transmission, if you were going 50 miles an hour, that's between 9th and 10th gear, right? So if you're in 9th, you're going to need to accelerate a little bit, and that'll speed that up, and it'll interlock. And so same thing with 10th. If you were going to go into 10th, if you're going 50 miles an hour, you would need to idle that down just a little bit and let that fall in due to it being a synchronized transmission. So what does that mean? What that means is you need to factor in a couple of things. As we mentioned, your road speed, which is the speed your vehicle's going, you need to factor that in. And plus, you need to factor in what speed that your RPM should be going. So typically, if you're going into the right gear, it should be around 1,500. On this truck, it can be 1,500 to 1,800 is kind of the sweet spot. Okay, and so the idea of floating is once those gears are interlocked, to change it to the next gear, essentially you need to not be pushing, accelerating against those gears, or you can't get that gear out, and neither does it need to be the truck's moving faster than the gear, so pushing the other way. So you need to have that right in the middle so that just slides out. What does that mean? That means if we're in 9th and we want to shift, then we're going to be on the fuel, right? Because we're going from 9 to 10, right? So we're on the fuel, so we need to come off the fuel. Not all the way, because if you come off all the way, then you're pushing against the other side, right? So you just come off about 90%, and that puts you just right in the middle, and then that just lets you slide out, and then that'll let you slide into 10th, right? So as long as you understand that factor and how to feather that fuel, it'll make your game a whole lot better. Now let's talk about starting from a stop. All right, so when we're starting from that stop that we're talking about, we got a clutch brake in all the way. Now, your truck may be different. If we're running our truck and it's empty, you can typically start off in 4th. Now, this can vary. If you're off in construction world and you're off in some sand or some mud, you may have to start in low or 1st or granny low or something like that to start off. Or if you're loaded pretty heavy, you may have to start off in a lower gear. But typically, if we're running light or not loaded, you can start off in 4th, which here teaching students, that's mostly what we do. We start off in 4th. And so when you're starting from a stop, you need to let off that clutch, and of course you have your foot on your brake until you'll feel that pull against that. Once you feel that pull against your truck, pull against your brake, then you can come off of your brake and let the engine push the truck. Otherwise, if you don't wait until that pushes against, until you feel it pulling, you could start rolling back, hit the car behind you, especially if you're on a hill or something. So you want to make sure that truck, your gears are pulling you forward. Before you come off the brake, move over to your fuel, right? And then you kind of just feather that and float it in as you're coming off your clutch the rest of the way. You never want to just pop that clutch, or you're going to kill it. You're going to stall it. Especially if you're testing, if you stall it, game over, right? You're not going to be passed. It's back to the yard with you. But out on the road, that also can be dangerous. You do that in the middle of an intersection or on a train track or something, you're talking lives at risk. So never pop that clutch. Always ease into it. Let it take the weight of the vehicle. Then move your foot over from the brake to the fuel and move forward nice and smooth. Ready? All right, so with the floating method, the only time that you're going to touch that clutch is when you're starting from a stop. Okay, why is that? So the reason that you'll need to get in the clutch from a stop is because you already have that flywheel spinning, and so you'll need to push that clutch in all the way until it stops that flywheel, right? And then you'll be able to put it into the gear because your axles are not moving, right? So from a stop, the motor already has that flywheel going. Push the clutch in, and it's going to stop that flywheel, and that's where you're going to put it into gear, and it'll be able to take it. Else it's just going to grind because it's sitting there spinning, if that makes sense. So that is most of the time that you'll touch the clutch is when you're starting from dead stop. Other than that, if your vehicle is still moving, you can generally find that gear. And that's the only time you'll go in all the way for sure into where that clutch brake engages, is all the way. That's when your vehicle is totally stopped. Or else if your truck is still moving, imagine you push that clutch in all the way, you're using a little bitty clutch brake to stop a whole vehicle moving. Does that make sense? If you're in gear, you're still moving, you push that clutch brake in, you're not using your regular brake, that means that your clutch brake is now trying to stop the momentum of your whole truck. So that's the reason we tell you the only time you go in all the way down with your clutch until the clutch brake is engaged is when your truck is stopped. Now, other than that, a lot of times if you ever use your clutch moving, you'll push it in like 50-60%, and that's enough to disengage that clutch. You don't go all the way in, you're going to wear out a clutch brake, and either you're going to be out money or your company's going to be out money. So be cognizant of that clutch brake.
We're going to take off in fourth because we're empty. It makes sense. And like I said, we're going to get up to 1600 RPMs. Right about there. Let off the gas. Into fifth gear. Flip the lever up. We're going to go to sixth. We're going to go back up to 1600 on the RPMs. Just like that. There's sixth. And there's a stop sign up here. We're in sixth gear. We're going to flip the lever down to go to 5. Downshifting, get down to 1000 RPMs. Get it out of gear. Spike the fuel up to about 15. Goes right into hold of fifth gear. You can come to a stop in fifth, clutch down, bring the truck to a stop. In fourth gear, 1600 RPMs. There's fifth, flip the lever up, 1600. Sixth. We're in sixth, we're gonna go to seventh, 1600 RPMs. Seventh. Each truck could be different. This is the sweet spot in this truck. We're going to turn right up here at the stoplight. We're in 7th gear. We're going to go ahead and downshift to 6th. We're at 1000 RPMs. Spike the fuel right into 6th. I like turning corners in 5th gear if the light's green. We're at 1000 RPMs. We're going to downshift to 5th. There's 5th. Light turned red anyway. We're going to stop. Taking off in 4th gear. $1,600 RPMs. Go to 5th. Flip the lever up because we're going to go to 6th. 1,600 RPMs. There's 6th. 1,600. Go to 7th. Got a red light here. Let's downshift. We're going to go to 6th. 1,000 RPMs. Spike it up there. 6th gear. Stay right there, buddy. 1,000 RPMs. Downshift to 5th. I flip the lever down. There's 5th. Take off in 4th. 1,600 RPMs. Go to 5th. Lever up. 1,600. Go to 6th. Gonna go to 7th, 1600. There's 7th. $1,600, we're going to go to 8th. $1,600, we're going to go to 9th. $1,600, we're going to go to 10th. We're going to go one more exit here, 1 mile on the highway, and then we'll downshift. All right, we're coming up on our exit. Get our right turn signal on. Just gonna let off the fuel a little bit here. Let us get down to 1,000 RPMs. We're in 10th gear. We'll downshift to 9th here in just a minute. I don't like hitting the brakes out here in 3 lanes of traffic like this, so I just let it idle down. We're almost down to 1,000. We're gonna downshift to 9th. There's 9th. Use the brake a little bit now that we're getting off the highway. Shut that blinker off because we're going to turn left. We're in 9th gear, down to 1,000 RPMs, downshift to 8th. There's 8th. Downshift to 7th. Thousand RPMs, going to downshift to 6th. 1,000 RPMs, we're going to downshift to 5th.
You'd say timing, learning the engine sounds, and knowing the truck, each personality, maybe.
Yeah, correct. Just each person's different. Learning to match the road speed with the RPM. I've seen people that says they've drove stick shifts before, they knew what they were doing, they come out here and they struggle learning how to float or learning how to double clutch, whichever way they try to do it.
Just from bad habits of smaller cars and transmissions.
And sometimes it's easier to teach someone who's never drove a stick shift or a manual before how to float or how to double clutch instead of someone who has been around it their whole life because they bring bad habits to the game. I'm gonna shift to 5th here, 1,600. Get our lever up. 1,600, go to 6th.
Yeah, bad habits bring a whole new set because you have to untrain those and then retrain the correct way.
Yeah, bad habits are definitely hard to break.
Is there ever a reason that you would think that someone might pick an automatic over manual?
To get their CDL initially, I think the big thing is so many companies these days, the mega carriers and big companies like that, are going to automatic trucks anyway. Let me get in the 5th here, make this corner. There we go. There's benefits to it. There's benefits to why the business is going to automatic trucks, other than the obvious, which is fuel economy, which is money in these big businesses' pockets. Or if you're an owner-operator saving money on fuel, you're going to get better fuel mileage with an automatic truck. It's proven.
I think at the end of the day, we would suggest everyone know how to drive a manual, but there are some that don't want to do that. So, you know, if that's their preference, we can teach that. But here at Elite, so far, everyone has chosen the manual route.
All right, I just downshifted to 6th here. We're going to make a turn back into the parking lot. I'm into
fifth now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching our video. If you would like to check out more Elite content, make sure you visit our YouTube channel. And if you would like to stay updated, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, give our office a call at 316-364-4326, or you can visit us on our website at elitecdl.school. Go out there and have an Elite day. And as always, stay trucking.